Why Burt Lancaster truly hated Kirk Douglas. Burt Lancaster changed into one in all Hollywood's most versatile and iconic actors, recognized for his fantastic variety, rugged, excellent seams, and powerful display presence. Born on the 2nd of November, 1913, in New York City, Lancaster grew up in a running magnificence family. He was raised in East Harlem, wherein he advanced an ardor for athletics and bodily fitness. As a teenager, he excelled in sports activities and finally attended DeWitt Clinton High School, where his interest in appearing arts began to emerge. Lancaster's adolescence changed into full of challenges. However, his dedication and resilience would grow to be defining tendencies all through his career. After high faculty, Lancaster, in short, attended New York University on an athletic scholarship. But his love for performance took him in a distinct path. He left college to join the circus, running as an acrobat with the K Brothers Circus. His time as a circus performer honed his physical prowess and gave him a unique perspective on the world of leisure. Unfortunately, an harm pressured him to go away the circus, but this twist of fate in the end led him to pursue performing. Lancaster's acting profession took off in the 1940s after serving in the U.S. Army all through World War II. Upon returning to civilian life, he started operating in theater, touchdown roles in Broadway productions. His breakthrough came in 1946 with his movie debut in The Killers, a film noir that showcased his talent for extreme and complicated roles. The success of the movie catapulted him to stardom, and he quickly have become one of Hollywood's leading guys. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, Burt Lancaster added some of his maximum memorable performances in a number of genres. He proven his versatility in movies like From Here to Eternity, 1953, where he played a sergeant in a romantic affair, and Elmer Gantry, 1960, wherein he portrayed a charismatic, morally ambiguous preacher, a role that earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor. His capability to seamlessly shift among action-packed adventures, excessive dramas, or even comedies made him a rather well-known actor. Lancaster's profession spanned over a long time, and he continued to conform as an actor, often taking up greater, tough, and complicated roles as he elderly. He wasn't afraid to play unsuitable characters, and his performances were marked by way of a deep emotional intensity that resonated with audiences. In films like Birdman of Alcatraz, 1962, Lancaster portrayed real-existence prisoner Robert Stroud. In comes vital acclaim for his ability to humanize a man acknowledged for his violent beyond. Another standout role came in The Leopard, 1963, wherein he played an getting older Sicilian prince, a performance broadly regarded as one among his best. Beyond his paintings in front of the Digicam, Burt Lancaster changed into also a pioneer behind the curtain. In 1948, he co-based Hecht Hill Lancaster Productions together with his agent Harold Hecht, making him one of the first actors to form his personal manufacturing company. This flow allowed him greater creative manage over his tasks, and the organization produced numerous hit films, along with Marty, 1955, which gained the Academy Award for Best Picture. Lancaster's legacy extends a long way past his performing and generating profession. He changed into a vocal endorse for civil rights and social justice, the use of his platform to aid reasons he believed in. He turned into an outspoken opponent of McCarthyism throughout the Red Scare, refusing to cooperate with the House Un-American Activities Committee, which centered suspected communists in Hollywood. Throughout his existence, he remained dedicated to fighting for equality and status up in opposition to injustice. In his later years, Burt Lancaster endured to work in movies and television, regularly taking up helping roles that showcased his enduring expertise. His performance in Atlantic City, 1980, wherein he performed an aging mobster, earned him another Academy Award nomination. Even as he aged, Lancaster's aura and screen presence never waned, and he remained a beloved parent within the enjoyment enterprise, till his loss of life on the 20th of October, 1994. Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas were of Hollywood's most iconic stars, often running together on various movies all through the 50s and 1960s. Although they seemed as near collaborators on display and have been often portrayed as buddies within the public eye, the reality in the back of their relationship turned into a long way more complicated, with reports suggesting that Lancaster harbored deep-seated animosity toward Douglas. The anxiety between the two actors seemed to stem from their clashing personalities, competitive nature, and vastly exclusive approaches to acting and stardom. This underlying tension grew over the years and became a defining thing in their dating, in spite of their expert partnership. One key cause for Burt Lancaster's dislike of Kirk Douglas turned into their competition in phrases of profession fulfillment and public recognition. Both guys had been formidable and fiercely aggressive, which led to a constant want to outshine each other. While Lancaster changed into recognized for his rugged attraction and magnetic display presence, Douglas turned into celebrated for his depth and emotional depth. This difference in performing style regularly led to clashes on set, as each actor sought to dominate the highlight. The aggressive environment created an undercurrent of resentment, as Lancaster felt that Douglas was usually striving to outdo him, both on and rancid the display. Their non-public differences simplest intensified this rivalry. Lancaster, a former circus acrobat, turned into bodily imposing and prided himself on his athleticism and commanding presence. He frequently performed robust, morally complicated characters and turned into recognized for taking risks in choosing unconventional roles that challenged Hollywood norms. On the other hand, Douglas became greater highbrow and cerebral in his approach to performing. He became known for his method-appearing techniques and capability to painting tormented, deeply fallacious characters. This contrast in their appearing methods brought about creative disagreements, as Lancaster believed Douglas became overly dramatic and self-indulgent in his performances, whilst Douglas saw Lancaster as emotionally remote and too targeted on his physicality. Their on-set feuds were legendary, with both actors refusing to backpedal or compromise. In the course of the filming of The List of Adrian Messenger, 1963, tensions reportedly ran so excessive that Lancaster and Douglas slightly spoke to every other. In spite of gambling key roles in the film, Lancaster's frustration with Douglas's ego and incessant choice for manage most effective exacerbated their already strained courting. The two might regularly argue over script modifications, scene instructions, or even the way traces had been added, with every looking to assert their dominance over the other. Their egos regularly clashed, making the collaboration hard and, at times, unbearable for each of them. Another fundamental factor contributing to Lancaster's disdain for Douglas was their differing political affairs. Lancaster was a staunch liberal and an outspoken endorser for civil rights, regularly using his platform to assist progressive causes. He was deeply committed to social justice and believed within the power of film to deal with vital societal troubles. Douglas, whilst additionally a supporter of civil rights, turned into greater pragmatic and less idealistic in his method to politics. He turned into recognized for his fierce individualism and self-promoting, which Lancaster interpreted as selfishness and a lack of real problem for the greater correct. This ideological divide, handiest, deepened the rift between the two men, as Lancaster regarded Douglas as opportunistic and greater interested by advancing his personal profession than in making significant alternate. Perhaps the most private source of animosity between Lancaster and Douglas came from their contrasting personalities. Lancaster, in spite of his difficult exterior, became regarded to be extra non-public and introspective, hardly ever seeking the spotlight out of doors of his movie paintings. He became content with letting his performances communicate for themselves, and changed into not as inquisitive about the repute and adulation that came with being a Hollywood star. Douglas, in contrast, relished the attention and turned into regularly seen as a self-promoter, always eager to be inside the public eye. This distinction in how they handled repute created friction, as Lancaster felt Douglas became too focused on his personal photograph and too eager to thrill the media, something Lancaster despised. In the end, in spite of their expert successes together, the underlying bitterness and competition between Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas in no way fully dissipated. Their operating relationship turned into frequently worrying, with both guys refusing to set apart their differences. While they made numerous memorable movies collectively, the personal animosity among them became one of the most well-known in the back-of-the-scenes feuds in Hollywood records.